Hey, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So in this episode, we're going to take a look at how we can improve the implementation of the CSRF cookie that we made in a previous episode. All right, so let's get straight into the code. So this is the code that we created in the last episode. So I'm going to start by declaring a new struct down here. So this struct is going to be called CSRF. Sorry, that should be CSRF token, like so. And this is going to have a string, and that is it. All right, so for this, we're first off going to implement a value function for the CSRF token. So function value, and that's going to just take the self, return a string, and we want that to say self.0. So that's just going to be the 0th index of this CSRF token, like so. And then we also want to implement a request guard. So that should look from request, of course, for CSRF token, like so. And this is going to start off with an error. So type error, and that's just going to be empty. And then a function from request, that is going to take in the request. So that is going to be a reference to a request, like so. And it's going to return a request outcome, and that's going to give us either a CSRF token or it's going to give us just the empty, like so. All right, so what do we want to do in here? Well, we can copy this code from the index no login. So just copy that like so, and then paste it in here. And we want to change this a little bit. So we are going to keep the protect and then this, but we want to, instead of saying cookies.addPrivate, we want to say request.cookies, and that is going to be a function. Then we want to add, instead of having a private, we want to add just a normal cookie, like so. And then we want to return a successful outcome. So outcome is going to be success. And that is going to give us a CSRF token. And that's just going to be the token and in base 64, like so. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to indent this a little bit, like so. And then we are going to move on into a CSRF cookie instead. So the CSRF cookie is going to also be a string. And for this, we're also going to implement the value. So CSRF cookie, we want to have the function value. That's still going to take just the self and then return a string. And then just self.0, like so. And we also want to implement this from request for the CSRF cookie. So we can copy this and just paste it in down here. And we can switch out the token with a cookie. And then we want to, actually in here, we can remove basically everything. And we want to say let cookie be equal to request and then the cookies, and then get the CSRF cookie, and we want to map these. So we're going to map the cookie like so, and then we want the cookie value to string. And then we're going to match this. So if we find this cookie, so we're going to match the cookie with some cookie, and that's just going to give us an outcome that is going to be successful, and that is going to be the CSRF cookie, and that's just going to be the cookie like so. And otherwise we just want to forward this, so outcome forward and like so. So why do we have two separate? Well, this CSRF token, this is for our pages, like for example the index no login here, because that's when we want to insert the token into our forms. And then this CSRF cookie here, we are going to want this when we're going to validate the token in the form. So as you hopefully noticed in this CSRF token implementation, we generated a cookie and then we returned the token, so we would be able to use that. So let's move into this index no login. So you can start by removing this mutable cookies, and instead of saying mutable cookies, you can just say token. That is going to be a CSRF token like so, and then you can remove all of this. And here you can just say token and just the value of the token like so. So let's go down into the sign up page at the bottom here, and we can just do the same thing down here. So we're going to say token, and that is going to be a CSRF token like so. And then we want to remove all of this. And we're going to change this to value as well. All right, so finally we are going to change these functions, for example, the register user and also the login post endpoint. So we are going to remove this get private CSRF. So just remove that like so. And let's remove it from down here too. I think we gotta remove this one as well. All right, and then we want to enter in here, so we got to do this before the mutable cookies, because otherwise we're going to get an error due to the fact that we're accessing mutable cookies as after, well, I guess before we access immutable cookies. So you want to put this request guard before the cookies if you get an error regarding that. So in here, we are going to say cookie, and that is going to be the CSRF cookie, like so. And then whenever we use that, so that would be cookie bytes right here. And we just want to say cookie.value instead. So I think actually we can change this to CSRF cookie like so, just to make it a little bit more easy to read. So that looks pretty good. So let's move down into the register user endpoint and just do the same thing. So you want to remove that, and also for this register user endpoint, we can actually remove the cookies altogether, because the only thing that we used them for was to get that CSRF cookie. But up here, we also add another cookie. So that's a lot of cookies, but let's change this. So we can just say cookie and then CSRF cookie like so. And then here you can just change this down here to say something like that. That looks pretty good. All right, so try recompiling your code now. So we got an error, and that is due to the fact that we forgot to remove this code down here. So try recompiling again. So let's just move over into our web browser to make sure this still works. So enter your credentials in here and then hit login. And as you can see, this still works. So that is it for this video. Good luck and happy coding.